Hi everyone, welcome to my new room. I'm gonna show you around a little bit. This is my new bed. I mean my new college, by the way, if you didn't understand. This is my place, this is my thing. I'm gonna show you my closet. This here is my closet. Amazing, right? I know, it's like, whoa, I'm just showing you too much. Your brain's just exploding, isn't it? And here is my new bathroom. It's sort of smelly in here, but this is where I go take showers and poop and stuff. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and tell you all a Fireside Tales on my new bed. I decided to go ahead and tell it here without even a tuxedo because I've actually having a little bit of problems with my tuxedo right now, but I'm going to work on it. Anyways, tonight I wanted to tell you all the story of how mankind will eventually land on Mars. And this is the story the old prophets up in the top floor of the Fireside Tales Organization have talked about. So anyways, there was this old man named Oliver Wright who lived with his wife Edith. And Oliver was obsessed with NASA. He loved to go outside every night and look up at the stars and at the moon and at that red planet Mars. It had always been his dream to land on Mars, but now he's getting rather old. He was about 50 years old, and his wife was having a little bit of chest problems, and so he had to get back on the ground, get back on the floor. But anyways, when people started to announce they were going to try to get up to Mars, Oliver Wright was just very excited about all this. He was watching the news every night, and they were going to send up a bunch of spacecrafts, one of them known as the George Bailey. And the George Bailey was considered the main spacecraft, and it was going to shoot up onto the red planet. And there were a bunch of other the idea of just one spacecraft going up to Mars is incorrect. They actually use quite a few, some spacecrafts for food, stuff like that. But anyways, Oliver Wright watched this and he said, wouldn't it be amazing, Edith, to go up, to be one of the first people to land on a whole new world? This is the big step in mankind's history, perhaps one of our greatest. Finally, we get to leave our mother, the Earth, the place that has provided for us all this time. And Edith just smiled and nodded her head, and she didn't think much about it. But one day, Oliver Wright was sitting in his house, and he got a call, and Edith called for him out, and Oliver Wright, he picked up the phone, and he said, hello? And it was from NASA. Now, Oliver Wright had originally been an astronaut for quite a few years, and NASA said that they were having a bit of problems. You see, they were at a war with Russia at this point in history, and they needed someone to go up onto Mars for the landing, but they didn't just want a regular person, because Russia had proven that they could land a man on the moon and have him live there at the age of 50. They were trying to show that space travel was so sophisticated with their new technology that even a man that was very old, like 50 years old, could be sent to Mars with their space technology. So anyways, it was basically a bragging rights, and NASA had decided to go ahead and allow Oliver Wright up with them. They figured that if they let Oliver Wright up, they could show that they had just as much technology with their spacecrafts as the Russians did. So Oliver Wright was very excited. He agreed, and he ran up and he told Edith, Edith, I might be gone for a little while, but I'm going to be one of the first people to walk on Mars. And Edith said, oh yes, Oliver, that's very exciting. Anyways, Oliver went, and he went off to go train with the other astronauts, and Edith decided to not show him a slip of paper, for you see, she had went to the doctors that day, and it turned out that her illness was going to kill her in about 6 months. So anyways, Oliver, he began to do exercises. He went into a pool, learned how to walk. He went in those things that go around and around. I'm not actually sure of their names. I apologize, I forgot. But anyways, soon enough he was ready, and NASA believed that he would be good enough to shoot off. So anyways, he went back home, and he told Edith about all the good news and about how soon enough he was going to leave. And Edith said she was very proud of him, and the next day Oliver left to go to NASA. Well, anyways, Edith sat there, and she looked out at the space place, the space station. It was only a few miles away from their home, and you could see it if you stood out on the top of the hill. Well, anyways, Edith went through town, and she went about her usual day, and she thought about her husband, Oliver. She felt really sad, as if Oliver was leaving her on purpose, even though she knew he didn't know about her sickness. But anyways, Edith went about the store, just went about a usual day with nothing really all that exciting happening. And finally, when she got back home, she turned on the television, and she sat down, but soon enough she just couldn't do it. She couldn't look at the television. She went outside. And anyways, as she sat out there, she saw the rocket ship lift off out into the solar system, and she watched as it soared off, and as she stood there watching this, she began to cry, and the tears streamed down her face, and she ran inside, and she put her head on the pillow, and as she laid there, she got up again, and she decided to walk back out and look up into the stars, and as she walked out onto the front porch, she found Oliver there, and she said, "Oliver, I thought you left for Mars." "I couldn't do it, Edith. I told them to use my substitute." He walked up and he grabbed hold of her hands. I just didn't feel like you were well." And Edith, she said, "Oh, it doesn't matter anymore, Oliver, but if you want to go off to Mars, you can. I mean, I wouldn't want to separate you from your great adventure." "Being here with you, Edith," said Oliver, "has been one of the greatest adventures I've had. I've had 3 children with you, and I could never imagine spending my life, the end of my life, with anyone but you." And Edith grabbed hold of his hand, and they both looked up into the stars, and Oliver Wright said, "That right there, Edith, that's where we're headed, right up into the stars." And that is all. As we leave this world, one day, not yet, we are going to have to ask ourselves this question. We are going to ask ourselves, as we leave the place of our birth, what it is exactly we are leaving behind. As always, sweet dreams and good night.